Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. All right, Five of Cups. You're somebody who understands emotions coming and going like waves on the ocean, right? In any given day, well, any given moment, really, we may have a lot of different waves that are coming over us, right? We may feel happy one minute, sad the next, and this is kind of the way life goes. There are a lot of feelings that are always swirling about. You may be feeling one particular feeling more than others right now. Okay, I think you're trying to deal with a situation where your heart is sort of feeling a certain way and you're wondering, what do I do about that? What is it trying to tell me? Okay, we're trying not to identify fully with the emotions, but we're trying to look at it. Something hurts inside, right? We've got to look at it and we've got to assess it and say, what is the message? What is it trying to communicate to me? Okay, so let's see why this sometimes is a card of disappointment, by the way. Sometimes this is the feeling like, I feel like something should be here, but it's not. What am I missing in life? What is it that's going to fulfill me? What is it that's going to make me feel this kind of Six of Cups, this wholeness, the pleasure and love and the harmony and beauty of life? Like, what's missing from my life right now? Okay. And I think it's very good that we have this card as the first card because it says we're going to look at it and we're going to try to ask that question. What is my life missing right now? What do I feel should be here but isn't? Well, let's put this card into a little bit of context. We've got a Queen of Pentacles, a Prince of Pentacles, a Seven of Cups, an Eight of Wands, and there's a Six at least, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Who do we appreciate? Well, that's what the Queen of Pentacles is trying to ask, I think, right? Why is it that we've reached a certain level of satisfaction or a certain level of, let's say, progress, right? But why is it that I don't feel the Six of Cups? Why is it that I don't feel, excellent about where I'm at right now? Okay. It could be that these are the physical goals that we are achieving, right? It's kind of like we're getting the victory, we're getting the win, we're doing the thing we set out to do, we're accomplishing it. Why doesn't it feel the way it's supposed to, Here we have the Eon card. We have a Princess of Cups. Okay. We have a Ten of Wands, and we have a Prince of Wands. I feel like you're in this very ambitious kind of energy where we got fire and earth, fire, fire, fire. Even this is fire, right? I almost feel as if you've been going through these cycles, these sort of repetitions of something, right? Where you are you're accomplishing a lot of goals, but you're realizing that something's missing from those goals. That maybe there's this, I don't know if it's a sense of creativity, maybe it's we're missing the love of it, right? That these wins that we're getting are just not feeling the way they're supposed to, right? So let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it right here with Mr. Tao, the yin-yang duck, right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this program you might feel like you know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments, okay? Let's do it together. Now, as we look around the room, we see one major arcana. We see the card of the leveling up. Okay? Your fate awaits you. Going through this doorway is going to change your life. Okay? This is the doorway to the future. It's a fiery doorway. It is saying the old universe is gone. The new universe is waiting for you to build it. Okay? And that could be why we have this fire energy up here, because it's kind of like, this is the fire of motivation. This is maybe the fire of passion, right? Especially the Knight or the Prince of Wands, because this is a Leo energy. This is a passionate, sustained enthusiasm. This is motivation that doesn't fizzle out, okay? So I feel that the Queen of Pentacles is kind of like, is looking back at the past and thinking, okay, well, I'm not in the swamp anymore, but I still don't have everything I want. Okay? It's maybe like I should feel good right now, but I don't feel good yet. Okay? Maybe we are, how do we phrase this? We're trying to get away from the toxic and negative things, but that doesn't equal love, pleasure, satisfaction, happiness, right? Getting away from unhappiness doesn't mean we're automatically happy. Does that make sense? So we're kind of thinking, okay, well, you know what? I got rid of the Seven of Cups. I should be happy now, right? But for some reason, something's still missing. I think when we realize what that is, that's us going through the doorway and finding it, pursuing that, letting our heart and our feelings lead us a little bit. Your heart led you out of the swamp already. But it's kind of like, you know, we got out of the swamp and now we're in a much better place. But we're not in that exalted heavenly place yet either. You know, we're not in that magical realm of bliss yet either. But it feels like we're getting there. We're out of the swamp. We haven't yet found the paradise. We haven't yet found the oasis. But hey, at least we're not in the swamp. You know? So we've got this doorway, and I think that's the moment where we say, okay, you know what? I'm done living a life where I'm just trying to minimize the toxic stuff. I need to live a life where I'm actively going after the good stuff. You see how that's what I'm trying to figure out how to express that feeling that I'm getting. Okay? That instead of reacting against what we don't want, we've done that. Now it's time to actively pursue what we do want. So I feel like that's kind of like it's like your fate is awaiting you now to create it. This universe is there for you to manifest. Okay. And well, we have this earth energy. Let's go through the elements. So we have our major arcana. We have fire, 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 fire. A lot of fire. Okay. A lot of energy being expended in your life. First, the energy was going against the 7, right? And now we're kind of left with a 5. And I think we need to take that as a win. We need to realize that, hey, we succeeded in getting away from something that was bad for us. Now we got to actively use that energy to go after what is good for us, you see. It's not enough to just eliminate bad habits or eliminate, all the sort of, the junk food from our diet or whatever, our intentional eating plan, instead of diet. We then have to replace that with the good stuff, with the healthy things, with the stuff that makes us feel the way we want to feel. Okay, we can't just say, well, I got out of the swamp, I should feel better. No, we have to figure out what our paradise is, what our oasis is, and go actively toward that. Okay, so we have a lot of fire. We've got, of course, our water energies. We don't have any air, and we've got our earth energies. Okay. So in a way, it does kind of feel as if you're going through a bit of a physical detox even, like your body is your temple, okay, first of all. And so maybe phase 1 of your work is to get rid of the stuff that is not good for you personally, okay, and this is a great many things. It's a 7 of Cups. It's back there in yesterday's energy. Okay? It is the recent past. And this is what, right now, you're kind of the Queen of Pentacles, right? It's not gender specific. But this is you kind of sitting down where you are and thinking, okay, let's figure this out. Let's look at the past. Where did I come from? Okay, I came from this. So I've come a long way already. You've already proven your self-love, you know? You understand where you've been, and you've been here. This is a swamp. This is bad habits. This is an unhealthy lifestyle. This is an unhealthy relationship. This is a toxic relationship. Maybe this is a poisonous, infested swamp, right? We've gotten away from this, and that is a win. That is an amazing win. That's more than most people can accomplish, you know? But it's not enough for you. You're saying, okay, maybe I've detoxed my body from the things that I don't want to be in there anymore. And now it's time to figure out the things I do need to put in. So I wonder if you've gone through, this could be even going through a fast. I don't know if you do any kind of intermittent fasting. Now, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a doctor. Don't take my advice. I'm just reading the energy here, you know. But it feels like this was a purging. This was a cleansing or a detoxification from something, whether it's physical. It feels like it's physical more than anything else. It's sort of the idea of you're sick, you got the flu, and yeah, the flu is gone, right? You're not infected with the flu anymore, but you don't feel all that amazing yet either, you know. We're not quite there yet, and that maybe is the Six of Wands, where we're feeling absolutely restored and powerful, and we're back in balance. This is an imbalance. This is a balance. And I kind of am wondering with this Five of Cups, if you're thinking, gosh, I really wish I could get that Six of Wands. I really wish I could feel the balance and get the energy restored and feel like I'm back to my optimal health, you know, my fighting weight, so to speak. And the Five of Cups, I think, is kind of the realization that, okay, you know what, I need to be easier on myself, and I need to say, okay, I went through this purgation, this cleansing, this detox, and that is a huge accomplishment. And so maybe we're sitting down now and thinking, okay, I did that, and let me be proud of that, and let me be happy about that. Let me also realize that now that I've gotten rid of the bad stuff, there's room in here for the good stuff, you know? And so the Five of Cups to me is a very good energy, because we see the water is flowing. The water is flowing. This isn't a bad card. This is a card that says the waters are flowing. And sometimes we need all that water, maybe literally, that card is saying, you've been drinking a lot more water. You've been like radically hydrating, right? To purge out all of this negative stuff. Maybe this is emotional. Maybe the tears have been flowing, right? Because we're cleansing out all this toxic, emotional residue from a relationship or some event or some, past thing or whatever you're doing. Feel like you're going through a purge, okay? And we're realizing that that's necessarily phase one. That has to be where we start. Okay, I'm personally working on something similar in my life, right? I'm trying to eliminate everything except for the very basics, just clean water, simple food, and of course the medication that I have to take every day, and that's it. I'm trying no sweets, no junk food, no salt, no sugar, very, low carb kind of thing. And just me personally, right? Because I'm in this sort of a cleansing or purging phase for a few days. And then I'm going to start adding in other kinds of food and other kinds of supplements or whatever it might be, right? We sort of build things back up after we have that. And it's the same way when you're sick. If you have an illness or something that you kind of are, you're gonna have a lot of fluids. That's what, my parents used to always say, when you're sick, you just drink a lot of water and to help flush it out, So I feel like that's what you're going through right now. And in the future position, Six of Wands. You're restoring yourself to this health and vitality. You're restoring yourself to this kind of optimal condition. And this is extraordinary because I feel like this process here that you're going through is allowing you to then, I mean, you're transforming your life. This is you purging out the old and then going through this doorway and taking this fiery energy to pursue those things that are healthful. Emotionally, your relationships with everything, your relationships with people, your relationships with food, your relationships with yourself. It's love, it's healthful, it's non-toxic, right? That's where you're headed. And I don't know if this is necessarily about, physical stuff, health, nutrition, wellness, or if it could be something financial. It could be that first we have to see where all the waste is going. First we have to really tighten our belt and not spend anything and get rid of all those bad habits. And then we can gain the strength, and then we can figure out, okay, what are those healthy things, those very important things that we really want to and need to spend our money on. Okay, whether it's investments or retirement or your sort of monthly budget, whatever, right? It could apply to that too. This could be an emotional thing. It could literally be about relationships. This could be a very toxic relationship. And first we have to purge out all these feelings. And then we feel restored. We feel our vitality returning. This is an increase of the Leo energy, right? This is Jupiter in Leo. So we have this, especially with the Prince of Wands at the end, we have this, the suggestion that your passion, your vitality, your lust for life, your robustness, the kind of health that we really want, this robust health, right? This vitality is growing. So you're kind of, for the way forward for you is to focus on things that are going to build you up, build up your strength, things that are going to nourish your body and soul, and lead to growth, lead to expansion, lead to your ability to build your universe, So I think it's happening on all planes simultaneously. I think it is a physical thing, but it's also mental, emotional. It's also spiritual, creative. Mystery card, 9 of Cups, right? Probably. Maybe. We'll see. Down beneath the surface, you have your Prince of Pentacles. Okay? That's the builder. Okay? And sometimes we realize that, we have to tear down the old and clear the land if we're going to build up the new structure. So you understand how to build things. You are this builder. And right now I think the builder is lying dormant because the builder is going to go over here and build up the new life on this side, right? But right now the builder is laying dormant because the Queen of Pentacles is overseeing the purging, overseeing. It's kind of like you have to sweep out the furnace before you fire the gold. That you have to clean away, clear away, flush away, right? The old in order to build up the new. Maybe the Death card as the mystery card. Yeah. And so the builder to me feels like it's lying dormant, but there is a commitment to this process. It's like we're ready to start building up the new life as soon as that energy is restored, as soon as we feel that Spirit's giving us the green light and it's time. The Queen can't be looking at the past forever. Okay, cannot be looking at the past forever. Now, I feel like the month of October is very important for you. I don't know what's happening in October or what did happen, but it's a very significant month for you. And there's a connection with South Africa. I don't know if you're planning a trip or if you know somebody from there or there's something going on there. But anyway, the Queen of Pentacles understands what it does not want anymore. Eventually, we have to turn our eyes to the future and realize, what emotions do I want to feel more often? Okay, so it's a turning point from phase 1 to phase 2. Phase 1, purging, separating, clearing out, flushing away, washing away, right? Drinking a lot of water. Phase 2, when the Queen starts to look forward and, okay, how do we build? What are we building? How are we building it? What do we really want? Okay. The eight of Wands at the top here, to me, this feels like a very important energy too. It's very expansive. This is saying that there is a lot of pressure coming from inside, right? And it's almost realizing that we have to approach our life with intent. Okay, that we have to live with full awareness, like a 360 kind of awareness, of ourselves and our environment. I feel as if sometimes this card is like a flash in the pan. Sometimes this card is saying that I might be someone who's prone to very quick bursts of energy, but then it falters, it lags, right? And maybe this is part of what we've been, part of what has kind of inspired us to make these changes, is that we realize that our stamina isn't what it should be. We realize that something in our life, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, creative, has been kind of preventing us from really expanding our life and growing in a sustained way. It's kind of like you're trying to grow your garden, but the crops won't really grow. And why is that? Okay, what has been a drain on your energy? It could be with the 8, that we've been going in too many directions at once. Okay. Sometimes this is a particular shock to the system. It's almost like a Tower card, this one, almost. But it's something that, it's kind of like it's the inner response to the Tower, in a way. Maybe the mystery card is going to be the Tower. Because this card is saying that something is prompting us, something happens that then jostles us awake, right? And suddenly we're awake and we're looking in all directions, And it's like it's someone who's just fast asleep, and then there's like a crack of thunder, and they're up and they're looking around immediately, right? Trying to see where it is they need to react. So it could be that we're maybe prone to anxiety. Maybe it's we're realizing that things need to change. Okay, and I feel like this was the impetus for this process here. Okay, but this is also a very important card in a very positive way, right? Sometimes this card can be anxiety. Okay, and we don't know why we feel the way we feel, but I think purging all the toxins and whatever else, purging away all this 7 of Cups stuff is going to do a lot for how you feel physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, creatively too. But the 8 of Wands is also the wish that we have, the hope, what we really want. We want to be capable. This is the card that is saying, like, I have the ability to move in any direction I want, and let's think of it in physical terms. I have the ability to crouch down. I have the ability to stand up. I have the ability to jump. I can run forward. I can run backwards. I can move side to side, right? I can move laterally, and I can flank and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of like saying, I want to be able to respond to the world in a healthy way. I want to be able to respond to the world in whatever way is required, And so I don't want to just have one tool in the toolbox. I don't want to be so fixed in my life and so weighed down and so, unhealthy that I can't really do much. This is like I can do all sorts of activities, I can send my energy in any direction with strength and power. This is kind of like the vitality of youth, where kids can change direction so quickly, like literally in their movements, but just in their mind and in their thoughts and in their heart and in their spirit too, right? They have this ability to really just change gears very, very quickly. Okay, as we get older, we get a little bit more rusty. Things are a little bit slower, So I think this is a very good card. It's our ability to go in any direction we choose at any moment and to be able to turn on a dime, literally, physically, but metaphorically speaking too. And I think that the process here is going to be successful for you. That's why we've got a 6 of Wands in the future position. This path, the successful operation here, okay, is going to take you through this doorway, Path of the Serpent, the Eon card. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. The readings are totally free. Okay. This is the Eon Judgment, Rebirth, Reawakening, the baptism by fire, almost a resurrection. That we're a phoenix growing from the ashes here. Okay? And maybe this is a lot of purging. And from that, we're going to emerge as a better version of ourselves in a way. Yeah. This is that fiery doorway. I feel like you've been prompted by something. Something happened recently where you're like, that's it. I got to change. I got to change. Maybe it's like, for me, it's just like when I have a hard time getting up off the floor. Happened the other day, actually. I was playing on the floor with our daughter, and she got up and ran off, and I was going to go. She said, "Come follow me, and let's go play somewhere else." And I was getting up, and I had to do the old person thing where I like put my hand on my knee and like push myself. I'm like, "That's it. All right, I got to do so. I'm gonna get back on the bike. I got to start fasting again. I got to start, kind of getting off the junk food. I got to start stretching and doing different things." There's just a moment where it's like, okay, that's enough. That I shouldn't be having that issue, But really, it could be a lot of things. But I feel like in your general energy, that it's time to put the past behind us and move forward into the kind of future we want. We're kind of thinking like, who's the person that I want to be? What do I need to do now? What changes do I need to make now in order to become the person that I want to be and need to be, especially as we get older? And I don't care how old you are. Maybe you're 20 years old. Maybe you're 200 years old. It doesn't matter. There's a moment where we say, okay, I got to stop doing that old stuff. I got to create the new me. It's time to change. And when you go through this doorway, it's a purging as well, right? We're burning off it's a fiery doorway. We're burning off everything that doesn't belong. We're stripping down to the basics. And, first we're flushing everything away with the water. Okay? In order to kind of to balance our fire. Maybe you're into Ayurvedic medicine or that kind of diet, nutrition, kind of energy work. But I feel like we have the purging, and then we kind of, we go through this doorway, which is, we call it a doorway. It's just an intention, really. It's making a decision. It's a definite, I put my foot down and saying, okay, I'm done with the past. These are all the things that are not coming with me. I've purged them. I've washed them away. I've cleansed myself of them, and they ain't coming back. Okay? And so we're going through this doorway fresh and clean. It's like we've taken a really, really hot shower and we've scrubbed ourselves with the bristle brush, and we've detoxed from something, right? And maybe in a lot of ways, right? And now we're ready. Well, this is a divine doorway. Let's do a divine doorway card. But now we're ready for the Princess of Cups. Okay. Now we're ready to really explore what things in life we want to bring into our lives. We've purged out the old. What is the good stuff we're bringing in? Okay. The walkabout. You discover your path in sacred walkabout. The trees are your people. The earth is your tribe. In indigenous lessons, you find the will to survive. Walkabout. Walkabout. I wonder if the Princess of Cups is going walkabout. I wonder if that's a reference to the mystery card being the Fool card. Maybe, right? Because the Fool is purged. The Fool is a big fat zero. Nothing. Wipe the slate clean. It's kind of like a reset. You do an extended fast. You're resetting things. And maybe this is just it could be a water fast. Now, again, I'm not recommending anything like that. I can just share my experience and tell you what I see in the cards, but it doesn't have to be literal, But the walkabout, you discover your path in this walkabout. And I feel like that's what the Princess of Cups is doing. Out there in the world, exploring new things, kind of saying like, what do I feel about various things? And if I feel something, I'm going to move in that direction. But I'm going to be very careful about what I actually consume, what I actually accept. And maybe part of this purging is figuring out, why do I crave the things I crave? Why do I like the salty and sweet? Why do I like the ice cream all the time? So I feel like we're kind of exploring the way we tend to be led around by our stomach sometimes, right? And it's just, I have a craving for a food. Maybe it's our taste buds, right? We're sort of tempted by a lot of things in life, and we sometimes would go in that direction and we'd consume that. But I feel like now we're trying to be more discerning about what we do bring in, right? The things that we do engage with, the relationships that we have. This card's in the position of your relationships. The Princess of Cups, right? What is your relationship with other people? What's your relationship with food? What's your relationship with other types of energy, emotional energy, intellectual energy, spiritual energy, creative energy? What's your relationship with your dreams, right? All of these different places that we have to start choosing positive, good, and healthy things. Eventually, we're going to probably go through another cleanse, another purge, another extended fast, or a reset, whatever you want to call it, an energetic reset. But that's kind of the, that's the idea, that we have that reset, and then we try to make better choices about what we're bringing into our aura. Either our physical bodies, our mental, emotional body, our spiritual, creative bodies. Okay? And the 10 of Wands here, this is in the position of what you don't want. What we don't want is perhaps the exhaustion, the chronic fatigue that is from that, right? And maybe that's part of what prompted you to do this, to work on this energy reset, right? Is we want the ability to have those bursts of energy, right? I'm trying to think of what this is in physiology or whatever. It's not like it's not fast twitch muscles. It's like it's your ability to have these bursts of energy. I forget what that's called in like physical sciences, but we want that, right? We want the ability to get up and sprint at a moment, like that, right? The 10 of Wands, though, is that sluggishness. The 10 of Wands is we're really just kind of dragging ass, that we're feeling the fatigue, we're feeling the exhaustion. And it might be spiritual exhaustion, physical or emotional too. Okay, maybe this is a creative reset, right? It could be. Because this is, the 10 is so far away from the ace that we almost forgot why we're out here. And we've just been hauling this big burden through the desert, and we don't even know why we're doing it anymore. And it's just kind of like, wait a minute. The Queen of Pentacles sits down and says, wait a minute. Do I need to carry all this stuff with me? Why am I wearing this big 1,000-pound boulder on my shoulders? I don't know. I forget why I'm carrying this. Throw it out. Throw it away. Right. Do the reset, the cleanse, the purge. Maybe this is just like maybe this is a spring cleaning in the house, right? Maybe we realize that our environment, our home, has become too unnecessarily cluttered energetically, and we need to do a cleanse, a purge. Maybe you're smudging. Maybe you're donating stuff to charity. Maybe we got like the big donation truck out front, and we're cleaning out the closets. We're cleaning out the basement and the attic and all this stuff. Maybe we're purging our physical environments as well. Okay? And in that case, the Princess of Cups is like, we're only saving those things that really are crucial, the things that we really do want and need. The interesting thing is that we don't have any swords cards here. Okay? That to me is interesting. And I'm not quite sure what that means, that fact that we don't have that. Maybe this is something that we're feeling. And we're not really trying to think about it logically. We're not trying to really have a plan. We're trying to just follow the heart here. We're not trying to think our way through. We're trying to feel our way through. How does it feel? Do you feel better? Okay, well, that's good, right? Do you feel like there's still more to do? Okay. It's not what do you think. Do you think you're done? Do you think you've finished the process already? Do you think it's okay? Do you think you feel good? How do you actually feel? I think this card is saying, you know what? I'm feeling better. I'm going from the 7 to a 5 so I can get to this 6. And this is the intermediate stage. And so I think there's a good reason for no swords cards here. I do feel like this is something that is, it's something that you're doing kind of personally, but I do feel like you have other people around you. Okay. The Prince of Wands here at the end, this is a sustained vitality. This is like, I've got my stamina back. Now I feel fired up. Now I feel passion. It's like we've cleaned out the basement, we've cleaned out the closets, donated all the old clothes. Now I feel like free. I feel liberated. I feel energized. Yeah. And the physical reset too, right? The creative reset too. Now I feel creative. Now I got these ideas coming, a mile a minute. And physically, I think too. I think that it's a return of that vitality. It is the growth and the expansion of that Leo energy. And that Leo energy to me is a sustained effort over a long period of time, right? Stamina, endurance, perseverance. It's a return of the creative vitality, a return of confidence, a return of energy levels that can be sustained. Right? Energy that can be sustained over the long time. I don't get winded just getting up off the couch, So I don't know that this is a physical thing. Again, I'm not a doctor. But this is the final outcome here for you. And this, of course, is a prince and a prince, fire and earth. We're manifesting our future. We're becoming the person we want to be. We're manifesting the environment, the house, the home that we want to have. And you're building your new universe up. First, we have to tear down the old to build up the new. Let's look at the mystery card. Is it going to be the Fool? Is it going to be the Tower? Is it going to be the Magician? Is it going to be the Empress? Is it going to be a Knight of Pentacles looking forward? Right? Well, let's see what we have. A Four of Wands. Good. Because the Four of Wands is telling me that you're completing phase 1. It's time to shift your face to the future and start phase 2. Okay, so it's basically it's saying, okay, you've finished the purging. Okay, you've finished the purging, and see now, look, these cups are empty. You notice that? These cups are empty. Something should be there, but it's not. It's like, okay, we've cleaned out the cups. We've run them through the dishwasher. Now, what do we want to fill those cups with? That's what we're out here trying to figure out, right? This is how we're building up the water inside these cups. So it's time now. The Four of Wands is saying you've completed this phase. This cycle is done. It's time to go on to the next phase, which is the building up, the restoration, or the creation of the universe. Time for the building part. Okay. So I think this is absolutely right on point. I really do. I love this. We're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Gemini Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you want to watch the extended readings on the website, go to doveandserpenttarot.com. I've also got some other essays and things that are up there for you to check out if you want. Okay. You can also find me on Patreon. Sign up over there. Go subscribe to my wife's channel, Ula Tea Leaf Readings. She does zodiac sign readings as well. Okay, really marvelous work. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. These readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.